Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is SAT Writing Language Crash Course, Day 1, Part 2. We're just coming back from break, and we are on PSAT Practice Test number 1, question number 5. Who did question number 4? That was Blaze, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I believe so.
Elizabeth, can you hear me, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Your audio sounds pretty good right now. Let's try sentence question number 5. Go ahead and read that question for me, please.
To make this paragraph most logical, sentence 3 should be placed where it is now before sentence 1, after sentence 1, or after sentence 4.
Let's test the answer choice here. We'll test answer choice A first, where it is now, right? So we use the sentence sandwich method, right? So we're going to read the sentence before, the sentence in question, sentence 3, and then sentence number 4, right? So 3 sentences altogether for each answer choice. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yep.
All right, and then we'll just pay attention to the logical order. Go ahead.
To combat the problem of C in an environment. Sorry.
This might not work actually for Hey Elizabeth, I'm gonna have
the average American.
Hey Elizabeth, I'm gonna have Nicole take over just because the audio is still cutting out a little bit. I'll have you do some of the shorter ones, but for logical order, it just wouldn't work. You got to hear it. Nicole, can you try that? Let's test those. So we're gonna read sentence number 2, sentence number 3, and then sentence number 4. Pay close attention to make sure that the ideas flow logically from one to the next.
Okay. To combat the problem of sleep deprivation in a demanding work environment, some companies have begun allowing workers to take naps. The hours the average American spends working have increased dramatically since the 1970s, making it hard for many workers to get a good night's sleep. Although employees who sleep on the job are often considered lazy and unproductive, napping in the workplace has been shown to improve workers' efficiency and quality of life.
Okay, how does that sound to you?
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
I feel like sentence 3 shouldn't probably go there.
Yeah, what do you guys think about sentence 3 there?
It kind of seems like it would fit better after sentence 4.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem quite right there. Like we're talking about, we're talking about napping, right? Companies have begun allowing workers to take naps, and then we're talking about napping in sentence 4, but we're not talking about napping in sentence 3. Do you see that?
Yep.
We're talking about the hours that workers work, and we're talking about also maybe difficult for them to get a good night's sleep. We're not talking about napping. Does that make sense? Why it doesn't logically flow from 2 to 3 and 3 to 4? That makes sense, guys? Yeah, we can eliminate. A's no good. Let's try answer choice B. So before sentence 1. So we'll read sentence 3 and then sentence 1. So it's an open face sandwich. Just 2 sentences we're going to be reading here. Go ahead, Nicole.
All right. The hours the average American spends working have increased dramatically since the 1970s, making it hard for many workers to get a good night's sleep. One of the big reasons behind workers' lack of sleep is the work itself.
All right. How does that sound?
That sounds much better.
Sounds better. Certainly better than A. Any thoughts on that? Real quick, by the way, when we reread, let's plug in the correct answer choices. So like when you read sentence 1, plug in primary causes of. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So B sounds much better. Let's try answer choice C after sentence 1.
Okay. One of the primary causes of workers' lack of sleep is the work itself. The hours the average American spends working have increased dramatically since the 1970s, making it hard for many workers to get a good night's sleep.
And then sentence 2.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. To combat the problem of sleep deprivation in a demanding work environment, some companies have begun allowing workers to take naps.
How does that sound?
I didn't like that one.
What do you guys think about that?
I think it was the best one so far.
Anybody else? Why do you like it?
Because it's transitioning well.
Yeah, look at the ideas. Let's look at the ideas here. So the first sentence, one of the primary causes beyond workers' lack of sleep is the work itself. And then sentence 3 has a discussion about their work. or at least their hours they spend working, right? And their work makes it hard for them to get a good night's sleep. And then sentence 2, talking about the problem of sleep deprivation from that demanding work environment. Do you see that?
Yes.
The ideas flow pretty well. They really do. What's better, B or C? What do you guys think?
Probably C in my opinion.
C.
Anybody else? C?
I like C.
Yeah, I think C is the right answer choice here. Let's double check. Let's try plugging it in after sentence 4. But I think C is pretty good. Let's try after sentence 4. So we'll 4, 3, 5. Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay. Although employees who sleep on the job are often considered lazy and unproductive, napping in the workplace has been shown to improve workers' efficiency and quality of life. The hours the average American spends working have increased dramatically since the 1970s, making it hard for many workers to get a good night's sleep. As long as companies continue to demand long hours from workers, managers should champion napping as a means to keep employees happy, healthy, and functional.
How's that?
I think it sounds like it jumps around a lot.
If you just read sentence 3 and then sentence 5, that might sound okay. But I don't like the transition from 4 to 3. That's a big jump there. Just doesn't flow. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's the same issue, right? We're talking about napping in sentence 4, then the hours of the workers, and then back to 5. It's just not. Sounds good. It is answer choice. It is answer choice C. Questions about that one?
Nope.
Do you see why you have to read all 3 sentences? We got to make sure the ideas flow from the one before and the one after. You got to do sentence sandwich. It's time consuming. These are the toughest questions, I think. Logical order questions and transition word sentences. We'll get to those transition word ones. But if you do the method, it's generally pretty straightforward with a little bit of practice. Pay close attention to the ideas. Not just the way it sounds, the ideas. Make sure the ideas flow. Okay? All right. Good job, Nicole. Let's go to Ava. Actually, let's go to Caroline, Elizabeth. We'll do this. We're plugging this one in again. Actually, I'm going to go to Ava. Elizabeth, I'll come back to you on one where there's not a whole lot of reading. Ava, go to the next one with such a proposition.
Such a proposition may seem counterintuitive, but in fact, allowing employees to nap could save companies hours of lost productivity. Studies reveal that napping improves memory and boosts wakefulness for the remainder of the day.
Okay, and then let's read question number 6. Can you read the question?
At this point, the writer is considering adding the following sentence. Even 15-minute power naps improve alertness, creativity, and concentration. Should the writer make this addition here?
Okay. Let's do sentence sandwich again. Let's plug this in, and let's see if we think they should add that. All right, so read the sentence before, studies reveal, then read the sentence in question, then read napping can also have a positive effect on mood. Okay? Let's hear it.
Studies reveal that napping improves memory and boosts wakefulness for the remainder of the day. Even 15-minute power naps improve alertness, creativity, and concentration. And can also have a positive effect on mood and overall job satisfaction, while constant drowsiness reduces reaction time and hampers one's ability to concentrate.
Okay, Ava, what is your instinct there? Should we make that addition? Yes or no?
I feel like we shouldn't.
We should not. Okay. So let's say no right now. Why not, by the way, out of curiosity?
Because it doesn't seem as flowing as it did before.
Okay. So let's test the answer choices here. Let's test answer choice C. Go ahead and read answer choice C, please.
No, because a discussion of the type of nap workers take is not important to the writer's main point in the paragraph.
Okay. Is the type of nap workers take not important to the writer's main point in the paragraph?
Not too much.
I'm not. Do you mean you like answer choice C or not so much?
Not so much.
Not so much. Yeah, why? Because what's the main point of the paragraph?
It's napping, so.
Guys, what's the main point of the paragraph? That's the topic, but what's the main point about napping?
Napping is important.
It's more than that. It's more specific than that. It's even more specific than that.
The benefit.
Specifically what? What specific benefits? Oh, it is the benefit. It is general, yes. You're absolutely right. But look at the first sentence here, right? We're talking about it can save companies hours of lost productivity, right? And if we're talking about, like, napping for 3 hours a day, that could be an issue, right? You may not be saving much productivity there. So I agree with you. I don't like C. It seems like the type of nap would be important. So I'm going to eliminate that. Go ahead and read answer choice D.
No, because it contradicts the writer's discussion of napping in the previous statements.
Does that contradict the writer's discussion of napping in the previous sentences?
No.
Doesn't contradict it. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense there. So there's an issue, right? If our first instinct was, well, we didn't like it, but we can't find good reasons why, right? Or if it doesn't match up with your reasons, you can eliminate them, right? And let's try, we can consider A and B now, right? That yes, maybe we should add it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I agree. I think it is A or B. But it's no problem, testing the first two that you go with your first instinct always. Test those, but if they don't give you a satisfactory answer or it doesn't make sense, go with the others. All right, so go ahead and read answer choice A for me, please.
Yes, because it demonstrates the benefit of napping. The benefits napping can be gained without sacrificing. I can't see that part because
okay. Can I scroll up?
Study amounts of work time.
All right, so does that the sentence in question demonstrate that the benefits of napping can be gained without sacrificing large amounts of work time? Does it do that?
Yes.
It does. That sounds pretty good. What do you guys think about A?
It sounds good.
It does that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's just like it's a yes or no. It's kind of black or white here. Does it do that? Yeah, it does demonstrate that. Okay, I can't eliminate it. What about answer choice B?
Yes, because it explains the methodology of studies mentioned in the previous sentence.
Okay, does the sentence in question explain the methodology of the studies mentioned in the previous sentence?
Not as much.
What does methodology mean? What word do you see in methodology?
The Bible.
What word?
Method?
Method, yeah. Is the previous sentence talking about is the what did you say? Somebody else said something? No? Somebody make a joke? I thought. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I think it was a joke.
What I missed the joke. I didn't hear it. What did you say?
We were kind of joking around about like just the word methodology. Like
okay.
I've heard it like in the Bible.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Maybe not so much. Well, maybe actually. I don't know. But yeah. So are we talking about methods? So does that sentence in question explain the methods of the studies in the previous sentence? Does it do that?
Yes.
What methods? Can you tell me?
That even shorter naps can help, I guess.
That's not really a method, right? That's more of a conclusion, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? I mean, like, don't force an answer, or like give me what I want, what you think I might want to hear. There's no, like, methods would be like, according to a recent study, right, 100 participants were monitored for 24 hours, during which time their brain scans were, and according to EKGs and all, like, that would be methods. Right? Are they talking about methods here?
No,
not a bit. Not a bit. They're jumping right to the conclusions. Does that make sense? Why we can eliminate B? By the way, lots of students pick answer choice B because they see methodology and like, methodology, that's a fancy word. I don't know what it means. That must be the right answer. No, don't do it. Don't fall for it. Don't be overly impressed by fancy words. Don't. Look, answer choice A works. This is a yes or no state. Yes, it does demonstrate the benefits of napping can be gained without sacrificing large amounts of work time. Go with it. Go with it. Don't go with the one with the fancy words that you don't understand. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's if you look at the question the right way, it's black and white. Yes, it does demonstrate that the benefits of napping can be gained without sacrificing large amounts of work time. It's the only one that's like a true statement out of all those answer choices. Okay? Go to the next question. We are at Caroline. Did you do the last one?
Nope, I didn't.
Nope. All right, then you're up. Go ahead and read.
Okay.
Employee naps might also.
Okay. Employee naps might also lead to reduced health care costs for companies, since regular napping leads to long-term health benefits, and it improves workers' average weekly attendance.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now go ahead and read question number 7, please.
Okay. Which choice provides a supporting example that reinforces the main point of the sentence?
Ooh, this is a specific question. Very specific. Which choice provides a supporting example that reinforces the main point of the sentence? Super specific. They're not testing us on the rules here, right? That's the case for question number 6 and number 7, right? There's no rule here. They're just asking you to answer a specific question. Okay. So we got to find the supporting example that reinforces the main point of the sentence. What is the main point of that sentence? That last sentence here.
Is it like... Okay, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, take a stab at it.
Is it maybe like the reduced health care costs?
Well, that's sort of like a topic, right? And it's right, and the topic's related to the main point. But what's the point about reduced healthcare costs? You're absolutely right.
So it like improves workers' attendance.
Well, that's the underlined portion here, and we might be changing that. Okay. So in short, I mean, like, and really we're just kind of, I mean, rephrasing or summarizing. Naps can lead to reduced healthcare costs because of the health benefits. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's all. That's a main point, right? That's different from a topic. I mean, the topic for the whole thing is napping, but that's not a point, right? The point here is naps can lead to reduced healthcare costs because of the health benefits. Okay.
Okay. That
makes
sense.
Okay. Good. So that's the main point. And you got to have the understanding before we can answer this, because we got to come up with a supporting example for that main point, right? So let's read the underlined portion, A, and see if that provides a supporting example that reinforces that main point. Okay? Go ahead and read A, just the underlined portion.
Okay. And it improves workers' average weekly attendance.
Okay, does that provide a supporting example that reinforces the main point of the sentence?
I think so.
Okay, what is the supporting example there?
I really don't know.
That might be a problem if you can't find the supporting example, right, in the answer choice. Right? It's like they've gone to another topic about weekly attendance, right?
Oh, okay.
I don't think that relates to reduced healthcare costs because of long-term health benefits. Does that make sense? I think they've gone to another topic in answer choice A.
Okay, yes, I think I see what you're saying.
Right? It's just not an example. It's not an example of reduced healthcare costs from long-term health benefits. Okay?
Okay.
So I think we can eliminate that.
Okay.
All right. What about answer choice B?
Including a lower risk of cardiovascular problems such as heart attack and stroke.
Okay. Does that provide a supporting example that reinforces the main point of the sentence?
Wait, so are they like saying this like you put it in the underline?
Yes, yeah. You place it in, put it in place of the underlined portion. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that works.
Yeah, I mean, what are the examples? Or what is the example?
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, in answer choice B, what is the example?
So it lowers the risk of... Yeah, that.
Of cardiovascular problems, yeah. Okay, good. All right, that seems to work. I mean, I can't say no, right? And right, reduce health costs because of long-term health benefits. Sounds pretty good, right? Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, great. What about answer choice C?
Okay, which are essential in an era of rising healthcare costs.
Okay, does that provide a supporting example that reinforces the main point of the sentence?
No.
No, right? No. By the way, answer choice C sounds good. Like if the question was which one sounds good to you, Like, I would pick answer choice C all day long. Sounds great. It just doesn't answer the question. Do you guys see that? That it doesn't address the question? Yes or no? Do you see that, guys?
I do see it.
Yes.
Yeah, it just doesn't provide a supporting example that reinforces the main point of the sentence. This is huge. I can't emphasize this enough. Guys, you've just got to answer the question being asked. Okay? If you do that, carefully read the question, directly address it, you're going to get a score increase just doing that. Okay? Most students read a question like that, completely ignore it, and just go with, which one do you like the best? Right? It's pretty much how students read most questions. Don't do that. It asks you, which one provides a supporting example that reinforces the main point of the sentence? If you do that, you're going to pick B. Right? C is just doesn't do that. It's a yes or no statement, or yes or no answer. It's kind of black and white if you look at it the right way. What about answer choice D? Let's try that.
In addition to making employees more efficient.
Does that provide a supporting example that reinforces the main point of the sentence?
No.
No. Again, they've changed topics there. Answer choice B. Any questions about that?
Nope.
Are you guys starting to see how to approach these questions?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's a specific question like that, make sure you understand what it's asking you, directly address it with your, when you're picking your answer choices. If there's no question, right, and we saw that like 1 through 4, right, there's no question here. It's just a bunch of answer choices. They're clearly testing on one of the rules. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, great. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Elizabeth, how we doing? Were you able to get your phone? Maybe she's still finding the phone. Don't worry about it. Okay. Oh, she's calling. Elizabeth, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. All right. Can you guys hear Elizabeth, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, great. All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's go. And if we need to do this every time, that's no problem. There's always a workaround. So I'm happy to do it. Okay, great. Let's go. Elizabeth, I'm going to jump to you. Actually, Blaze, I'm so sorry, but Elizabeth's been very patient. I'm going to come back to you, Blaze.
Okay.
Elizabeth, go ahead and read the next paragraph beginning with napping at work.
Napping at work has already won corporate advocates in the worlds of technology, finances, and news media, and some businesses are beginning to set aside special nap rooms. A few companies, such as Google, have even invested in high-tech nap pods that block out light, play soothing music, and gently waking nappers.
Okay, I want a high-tech nap pod so much. That sounds wonderful. What do you think of the underlined portion, Elizabeth?
It sounds weird.
Sounds real weird. Like, you don't even have to know what's wrong with it, but you're like, it ain't right. Okay, great. Eliminate A. If you read an answer choice, read the underlined portion, you're just like, this is just no good. You're only choosing from 3 now. Great, this is so easy. Okay? What rule are we being tested on here? Do you have any idea, Elizabeth?
Like, a sequence agreement?
Yes. It's make it match. Does anybody know what part of make it match?
Would that be like the parallel?
Absolutely. There's a pattern, right? Running, rock climbing, surfing. There's a pattern established here. What is the pattern? You're absolutely right, guys. What's the pattern? Can anybody see it? Read that last sentence again, Elizabeth.
A few companies such as Google have even invested in high-tech nap pods that block out light, play soothing music, and gently wake nappers.
What's the pattern?
I mean, I know, okay, it should be B, but I don't know how to describe the pattern. I mean,
the high-tech nap pods, they do 3 things. They block out light, they play soothing music, and they gently, what did you say?
They gently wake.
Gently wake. We need present tense. I think present tense plural. They block out light, play soothing music, and gently wake nappers, which would be answer choice B. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the others are silly. Those just sound bad. But that is, we see a pattern. Just stick with the pattern. Okay? Questions?
Nope.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
All right. Elizabeth, go ahead and let's do another one. You're on a roll.
Okay. Stefan Lasker, CEO of the mobile advertising firm Pontflex, has observed that employees are happier and more productive since he created a nap room in the company's Brooklyn headquarters. Brian Hudson of Kodiak Capital Group and Ariana Huffington of the Huffington Post Media Group have promoted napping throughout their workers and have been effusive about results.
Yeah. Do you guys know what effusive means?
No.
Just means really happy. That's all. That's the sort of word. By the way, when you're doing this for homework, I do want you to stop and look up words you don't know. If you think you might know what it means, stop, look it up. Words have specific meaning. Okay, so. So the rule here for number 9, I don't know if it's obvious or not. This is just choosing the right word in context. There's just a word here that works and 3 that don't.
Yeah. Among works the best.
Yeah. What do you think about A? Napping throughout their workers.
That sounds really weird.
Sounds really bad, right? I agree. Yeah, you could say napping throughout their workforce, but not throughout their workers. That's weird.
Yeah.
Plug in A. I want to hear A.
A?
Yeah. Or B, I'm sorry. Plug in B. I want to hear it.
So Ryan Hudson of Kodiak Capital Group and Ariana Huffington of the Huffington Post Media Group have promoted napping among their workers and have been effusive about the results.
How does that sound, guys?
Much, much better.
Much better, yeah. Answer choice C sounds mildly inappropriate, and don't get me even started on answer choice D. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
That ain't right. On several levels, that is not correct. So we're going to move ahead. Sometimes I think they actually get bored coming up with answer choices, and they come up with answer choices like C and D. Anyway, it is definitely B, is the one that works the best there. Great job, Elizabeth. And we're glad we'll just do this from now on if there's connection issues. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, Nicole, let's go back to, I think Blaze, we skipped Blaze, right? So Blaze, it is your turn. Let's go in light of the benefits.
Alrighty. In light of the benefits, not only to employees' efficiency, and again to their health and sense of well-being, these executives' enthusiasm is not surprising.
Okay. What answers? What rule have we been testing on here? Blaze, any ideas?
Is it the not only but rule?
It is. It is not only but also.
Okay.
What's the right answer choice?
Okay. Sorry, I need to re-grab it really quick.
Go ahead.
Out of all the choices, D kind of sounds good to me. In light of the benefits, not only to employees' efficiency, but also to their health and sense of well-being, these executives' enthusiasm is not surprising.
What do you guys think about that? Does it sound okay?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good. And it follows the rule, right? Make it match, not only but also. So absolutely, it is answer choice B. Or D, sorry. Questions about that?
Nope.
No? Great. I mean, we're just following the rules. That's all we're doing. Beautiful. Nicole, go ahead and read question number 11 for me. Read the sentence first, and we'll read the question.
Okay. These executives are among the most successful leaders in their respective fields. And then the question is, the writer wants a concluding sentence that restates the main argument of the passage. Which choice best accomplishes this goal?
What's the main argument of the passage?
I can't see the... Oh, wait, no, it's just napping and how...
Well, that's the topic still, but what's the argument about napping? What's the argument about napping? I'm sorry?
The results that it gives?
Well, what about it?
How successful they are?
Yeah! Napping's good! Right? Napping is good at work. Napping at good is work. Or wait, napping at work is good. That's better. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
And you see, by the way, the difference between a topic and a main point. The topic is clearly napping. No one's debating that. But they're making a statement about napping, right? They're saying that it's good for workers to nap. Okay? Very simply. So, which choice best accomplishes this goal? So we've got to have it in mind what the main point is in the first place, what the main argument is in the first place. I think we've got that. Go ahead and read the underlined portion again. That's answer choice A. Read that and see if that restates the main argument.
These executives are among the most successful leaders in their respective fields.
Does that restate the main argument of the passage?
No.
Not even close. That's awful. A is gone. What about B?
Clearly, employers should consider reducing employees' hours when they are overworked.
Does that restate the main argument of the passage?
Nope.
No. Now that's tempting. Right? Because you're like, ooh, working less. But that's not the main point. The main point is napping at work is good. So not B. Go and read answer choice C.
Companies should consider employee schedules carefully when implementing a napping policy.
What do you think about that?
No,
right? Now, this is where you got to be careful, right? Because we're like, oh, napping, there, good. Answer choice C. No, it's not just, you're not matching the topic. They're asking which restates the main argument. It's definitely not C. It has nothing to do with employee schedules. Answer choice D. Go and read that, please.
More businesses should follow their lead and embrace napping on the job.
Does that restate the main argument of the passage?
Yeah, that one.
Certainly the best of all of them. The others aren't even close. Directly address the question. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Don't just go with what you think sounds good. It's asking a specific question. Answer the question. You do that, you're going to get just that alone. It's going to give you a good score increase. Questions?
Nope.
How are you guys feeling about the writing and language section of the SAT now?
I feel good.
I love it. It's once you think in terms of the rules and directly addressing the questions, it's a breeze. Let's do a little more work. Vanishing honeybees, a threat to global agriculture. We are at, who did the last one? Was that Nicole?
Yeah, that was me.
So we are at Ava. Go ahead and read. And actually, go ahead and read the title as well. I want you to practice that. Always read the title. Don't just skip over that. Go ahead, Ava. You with us, Ava? Maybe not. Caroline.
Okay. Vanishing honeybees, a threat to global agriculture.
Good.
Okay. Honeybees play an important role in the I'm getting really messed up.
You're good.
Agriculture industry by pollinating crops. An October 2006 study found that as much as 1/3 of global architecture depends on animal pollination, including honeybee pollination, to increase crop output.
Okay, great. What rule are we being tested on here, Caroline?
Is it the M dash or something?
Yeah, it's definitely punctuation. Now notice, look at the answer choices. We've got a couple different forms of punctuation, right? We got an M dash going on, we got a colon and a semicolon and a comma. So let's start by asking one of my favorite questions, which is, are there any answer choices we can easily eliminate? I clearly don't follow the rules.
Is it B?
It may be. I don't know. Let's start with eliminating some obviously incorrect answer choices, though.
Okay. Is it A then?
Well, are you saying, can we eliminate A? Is that what you're asking, or no?
Yes, that's what I was asking.
Can we eliminate A? I think we can. Why can we eliminate A?
I don't know. It just doesn't sound like it should be the dash.
It's not right. Yeah. Does anyone know why we can eliminate A? It violates the M dash rule.
But you have to have two of them, right?
Well, no. There's a double M dash. But there's also a single M dash is also acceptable. Yes, you don't have to have two. That's not the issue there. Right. Remember, anywhere you've got a colon, you can also use an M dash. So what would the issue be with this M dash or colon in the same spot? What would be wrong with that?
It's not like listing anything?
Yeah, it's not a list or explanation or description of honeybee pollination. Guys, remember, it's got to be in that order. The thing to be listed, explained, or described, then the M dash or colon, and then the explanation, list, or description. Now, if it said including honeybee pollination, the process by which bees, collect pollen and in the process, fertilize the ovum of a flower or something. If they describe pollination, then that might be acceptable. A little bit weird, but acceptable. But it just doesn't do that. There's no explanation, list, or description of honeybee pollination, right? It's just a continuation of the previous thought. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's definitely not A. Any others we can eliminate?
Wouldn't it be B because the colon doesn't really work?
Yeah, same reason, right? I mean, it's just not a list, explanation, or description of, of pollination, honeybee pollination. So B's gone also. What else can we eliminate easily? We can test easily.
The D, because it's not a complete.
There you go. Absolutely right. We need two complete standalone thoughts if we've got a semicolon. And would we have two complete standalone thoughts if we went with D?
No, we wouldn't.
No. To increase crop output is not a standalone thought, so it's D. So I don't even know whether C is correct or not, but I know it's not A, B, or D. Let's plug in C. I want to hear it. Let's see if it works.
Okay. So I should start it in October.
Yep.
2006 study found that as much as 1/3 of global
agriculture.
Sorry. Depends on animal pollination, including honeybee pollination, to increase crop output.
How does that sound with a comma?
That sounds good to me.
It sounds good. It doesn't violate any rule. So we're good. It's C. All right? Questions about that? I can't encourage you enough. I love the process of elimination. I love eliminating obviously incorrect answer choices. Because even on a really tough question, if you can eliminate two of the obviously incorrect answer choices, and then you're just guessing, you got a 50-50 shot, which is pretty good odds on a tough problem. Play the odds. That's smart. Great job. Caroline, great job. Blaze, you are up. The importance of bees.
Alrighty. The importance of bees highlights the potentially disastrous effects of an emerging unexplained crisis. Entire colonies of honeybees are dying off without warning.
Okay, a couple things here, by the way. We see good use of the colon here, right? The effects of an emerging unexplained crisis, and then a description of the effects of the emerging unexplained crisis. Right? Do you see that, guys?
Right, yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're always going to see that order. And the nice thing about, if you don't remember exactly when you use a colon or when you use an em dash, look at the passage. They're going to give you lots of examples of proper use of the colon and proper use of the em dash. So use those examples to remind yourself what the rules are. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if you don't have it memorized, you can check it's not underlined, so we know it's correct, right? So use that to remind yourself what the rules in case you forget. All right, so what rule are we being tested on here for number 13, Blaze?
It would be where the words sound this similarly, but they're different meanings.
Yeah. So ask yourself ask yourself the question: how are the answer choices different? Right? If you're trying to figure out the rule, and we've got effects with an E and effects with an A going on. By the way, there's another way the answer choices are different. Do you see the other way?
Highlights the potentially disastrous effects. Oh, and then it's plural versus
singular versus plural verb form.
Right.
Yeah, highlights and highlights. So they're testing some two rules at the same time: make it match a number, and commonly confused words. Okay, which one do you want to start with? We'll start eliminating. Which one's the easier one?
Well, I can already eliminate A and D right off the bat because I know that it's not going to be effect with an A.
Yeah, right. It's not a verb here. Does anyone see that? Right, the potentially disastrous effects. It's not a verb. So A for action, the A form is gone. It's either B or C. Questions at that point or no?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Great. All right. So now, make it match a number. We've got to find. Let's do the method here. We got to find the subject, and then we got to find if the subject is singular or plural. What is the subject of this sentence? Who or what is doing the highlighting?
The importance of bees.
I love it. I love it. The importance of bees is absolutely correct. That is bees is not the subject. How do we know bees is not the subject? How do you know?
Is it because of the preposition?
This is a prepositional phrase of bees. It describes the importance. What kind of importance? The importance of bees. Does that make sense, Blaze?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. You didn't get tricked by that. They love doing that. Again, they love separating the subject and the verb with prepositional phrases. Remember, if you're not sure what is a preposition, go check out the list of prepositions. I can almost guarantee it's going to be in the first 10, right? And of is the most common of them, which is the case here. That's the one we're talking about here, the importance of bees. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so is the importance of bees, is that singular or plural?
So that would be singular.
It's singular. Yeah, it's singular. I don't even know what the plural form of importance would be. I'm not sure that's even possible. Right? Like, I don't think that's philosophically possible. So, or linguistically. Okay, so we need a singular form of the verb to highlight. What is the singular form?
So it would be C, highlight the potentially disastrous effects.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
That is incorrect. Here's why. Now, this throws students off. They're like, well, I thought S makes it plural. So the one without the S would be singular. No. That's for nouns, not for verbs. Right? I told you how to test them. Right? How do we test them? Remember, with the singular pronoun, it?
Right.
If you need the singular form, right? So let's test it. Is it highlights or it highlight?
It highlights. Okay.
It highlights the potentially disastrous effects. Not it highlight the potential. If you needed a plural form, you'd say they. They highlight potentially disastrous effects. Do you see why you have to test it with the pronouns?
Yes, I see.
All right. The S thing, that's only for nouns, man. In fact, for verbs, it's the opposite. Singular verbs generally have an S. It runs. It goes. It flies. It spends. Does that make sense?
I see. Yes.
Yeah. It throws a lot of students off. You are not alone, senor.
Okay.
But it is answer choice because we can test it. It is answer choice. Answer choice B. Questions about that one?
No.
No?
No.
All right. Let's go to question number 14. Elizabeth.
They know it as colony collapse disorder. This phenomenon will have a determinal impact on global agriculture if its causes and solutions are not determined. That was, yeah.
How is answer choice? How is answer choice A?
No.
No, it's not so good. What's wrong with it, by the way? Do you know what's wrong with it?
Because it has like a complete sentence, and then it goes on to like something that should have like I don't know how to.
Yeah. Does anybody else know what's wrong with it? There's a couple things that are wrong with it.
Colony collapse disorder should be the subject, but right now it's they.
Well, there's something wrong with they is bad, right? Because it's like, who's the they? It's very unclear. That's just bad, really bad style. Right? Who's the they? It's not clear. Does that make sense?
I guess it's like what's wrong with it is that like the part before the comma shouldn't be a complete sentence.
Yeah, and then the other issue, you're absolutely right, Elizabeth. The other issue is that they know it as colony collapse disorder is a complete thought. So is the part that follows. This phenomenon will have a detrimental impact on global agriculture if its causes and solutions are not determined. Two complete thoughts separated only by a comma. No bueno. Violates the comma rule. The second part of the comma rule. Remember that, guys?
Yeah.
Second part of the comma rule, right? You can't use a comma to separate two complete standalone thoughts. So, answer choice A is gone. Questions about that, or does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
What else can we eliminate?
D doesn't work.
No.
C is essentially the same thing.
See, it's the same problem as A, right? Two standalone thoughts. It is known as colony collapse disorder. Needs to be a period or semicolon there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys see that?
Yes.
Plug in B. I want to hear B.
Known as colony collapse disorder, this phenomenon will have a detrimental impact on global agriculture if it causes the solutions are not determined.
How's that?
Sounds good.
Works. It's great. And that's actually a properly placed modifying clause. Known as colony collapse disorder, right, is a descriptive phrase describing this phenomenon. So that's totally legit, and it sounds good, right? I mean, generally the correct answer choices are going to sound good. So, and the others are just bad. And now you know the reasons why. Questions about 14?
Nope.
Is this all making sense, guys?
Yes.
Great. You guys are going to get a good score increase on this section. Generally, this is where I see the biggest and the fastest score increases, is on the writing section. Doesn't take a whole lot. Let's do 2 more. Do you guys mind? Are we good? To do a couple more?
Okay.
Let's do a couple more. Nicole, go ahead and read Since the Emergence.
Since the emergence of CCD around 2006, bee mortality rates have exceeded 25% of the population each winter.
Okay. And then read question 15.
Which choice offers the most accurate interpretation of the data in the chart?
Okay, which chart? Well, this one right here. Okay. So let's do some graph analysis. Okay. Remember I taught you earlier that we read the title first, then the axes. Start with the y-axis, then the x-axis, going left and right. Look for a key if there's a key, and then lastly, look at the data. Okay? So let's do that here. Go ahead and read the title for me, please, Nicole.
Managed honeybee colony losses in the U.S.
Okay, managed honeybee colony losses in the U.S. Okay? And then look at the y-axis going up and down. What does that say?
The percent total colony winter loss.
Okay, and that ranges from 0 to 40%. Right? So the higher up, the bigger the loss. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then the x-axis going left and right is what?
The winter seasons.
Winter seasons, right? And so the seasons, of course, span over 2 years. Toward the end of one year, the beginning of the other year. And so it ranges from 2006 roughly to 2013. Is there a key here?
No.
No, not really any. But notice there it tells us where the acceptable range is, which is where?
15%.
15%. Okay. Now let's look at the data, lastly. Do you see any, are there any conclusions you can draw or any trends that you see here?
They're all above 15%.
They're all above 15%. Any other trends or conclusions?
I don't know.
Anybody else? Trends or conclusions? How would you describe the data? Kind of goes up and down a little bit. I mean, it varies almost from year to year, right? Up and down, down, and then up. But it varies quite a bit, right? But it's all above the acceptable range, right? All above 20%, in fact, not just 15. Questions about that? Or does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Okay, does it make sense why you do it in that order, right? I mean, just you could stare at the graph, but like you have no idea what you're looking at if you start with the data. I mean, like you just have to go in that order, or at least that's the easiest way. All right, so let's go back to the question, which choice offers the most accurate interpretation of the data in the chart? Let's test answer choice A again. So read the whole thing again.
Since the emergence of CCD around 2006, bee mortality rates have exceeded 25% of the population each winter.
Have bee mortality rates exceeded 25% of the population each winter? Is that accurate?
No.
No.
2012.
Yeah, because this guy right here doesn't exceed 25%. So A is gone. What about B?
Bee mortality rates have been above the acceptable range. That's true.
That's true. That looks pretty good. Try C.
Bee mortality rates have not changed noticeably from year to year. That's not true because the graph goes up and down.
Yep.
And bee mortality rates have greatly increased every year, and that's not true because it goes up and down instead of just up.
Great. We good? Questions about that?
Nope.
No? All right, great. Easy. Easy. We're going to do one last one. Who did that last one? Was that Nicole?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was me.
Okay. So Ava, let's do this last one. Take it from there. Was sign of hope? Was one sign of hope? Maybe not. Caroline.
Okay. There was one sign of hope. During the 2010 to 2012 winter seasons, bee mortality rates decreased slightly, and beekeepers speculated that the colonies would recover. Yet in the winter of 2012 to 2013, the portion of the bee population fell nearly 10% in the United States, with a loss of 31% of the colonies that pollinate crops.
This is super tricky here. I really don't like this question. Very, very tricky. I'm going to guide you through it. So let's just read question number 16.
Okay. Which choice offers an articulate interpretation of the data in the chart?
Yeah, an accurate interpretation, right? It's the same question as question number 15. So let's see. In the winter of 2012 to 2013, did the portion of the bee population lost, did it fall 10%? Nearly 10%, with a loss of 31%. So let's test it. In 2012 through 2013, did the portion of the bee population lost fall nearly 10%?
Yes. Wait.
Hold on. This is tricky. I'm getting mixed up here, too.
Yeah.
So, in the winter of 2012 through 2013, 2012 through 2013 right here, did the portion of the bee population loss fall?
Oh, no, so it rose.
No, rose. 10%,
yeah.
Right? The portion lost didn't fall. The portion lost rose. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's super tricky, right? Because the portion lost rose, which means more died. So, it's not A. Okay. What about answer choice B? Plug that in.
Okay. So, yet in the winter of 2012 to 2013, the portion of bees lost was double what it had been the previous year.
Okay, let's stop. Let's stop. Was it double, the portion lost, was it double what it had been the previous year?
No.
No, just very simply, it wasn't double, so we don't even have to worry about, the second part. Plug in C.
Yeah, in the winter of 2012-2013, the number of losses which had fallen within the acceptable range previous year rose
Stop.
to...
Do I even need to look at the chart?
Wait. So, I'm not really sure what that even means.
Guys, do I need to look at the chart?
No,
Why not?
because none of them went into the acceptable level.
None of them went to the acceptable range. None of them. And C suggests that they did. So it's not C. I sure hope it's D. Go ahead and read D.
Okay. Yet in the winter of 2012 to 2013, the portion of total colonies lost rose of almost 10% percentage points, with a loss of 31%.
Okay.
Of
Did the
colonies.
portion lost rise almost 10 percentage points?
Yes.
Yeah. From here to here. So that's like 22 maybe to 31%. So almost 10%. So yeah, the answer choice D. Okay. That's tricky, right? Because we're talking about the portion lost rising or falling, but which is a little bit tough to conceptualize. But that's about as tricky as a graph analysis question gets. Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
How you guys feeling?
Good.
Good.
Great. All right. For homework, here's what I want you to do. I want you to answer, well, the rest of this practice test. So we stopped with, which question? We stopped at 17. So 17 through 44 on that practice test. Do that for homework. Okay? Use the rules for writing. Okay? You don't feel like you have to memorize them. Don't worry about that. You're going to learn them by using them. Okay? But for every question where there's like not a question, right, there's probably a rule that applies. And even for some of the ones that ask you a direct question, but make sure if they ask you a direct, specific question, you directly address the question. and you'll be good. And even if you don't understand them, we'll go over everything. We'll go over all the homework questions at the beginning of the next section, next session. So if there's a couple that you don't understand, don't worry about it. We'll discuss it. But I think most of these, if you use the rules and you follow them, you're going to be good. Any questions?
Nope.
No? Okay, great. And then I'm going to send you a link to all the recordings of this session, to both sets of recordings. So you can reference that if you have questions about like how to understand the rules or anything like that. Especially probably the first half of the session will be useful if you're not sure how to apply some of the rules or what some of the rules mean. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So check out that first part of the day one session for reference. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week, same time, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.